Hi everybody, welcome to Liquid Lunch. It's the day after the election and I'm here with Jen and our first guest of the day, but we're going to just talk a little bit about the election just because
over my
it's
protest.
the day. Because
I'm putting the metaphorical gun to my head.
why? It was your fault?
It's you know what? It's interesting. I think that my analogy has always been that the liberals function in a society like the gas pedal, and the conservatives function as the brake pedal. And you really can't drive a car without both of those things. And what usually tends to happen is that when the car is going really fast down the road with the gas on full, as it really has been for the last 8 years under Obama, everybody gets a little nervous, even the people who wanted the car to go forward. And what we're seeing is exactly what usually happens. Is what's happened is America has slammed on the brakes. And it's funny because I have a feeling that I should have believed that this would be what would happen. Every time I actually get really excited about an election moving something forward, I'm always wrong. So I'm quite.
What, you thought Hillary was going to win?
Yeah, I did because I actually thought that I actually hoped that the fact that a lot of racism and sexism and classism, I hoped a lot of the issues coming to the front was actually going to make people more interested in continuing to deal with those things. But what we've really seen is, I think what we've seen is people saying, you know what, I just want to put that under the rug. Like, we've had enough talk about people's rights and things. I really just want to talk about how I'm not doing well. And how this is making me uncomfortable. Let's just shut this down.
Shut what down?
Well, I think what happens is when liberals get on the campaign trail and start feeling confident, they start talking about social justice. They start talking about equality. They start talking about moving the philosophical discussion forward. And when Republicans hear that, when like conservatives start hearing a lot of that, what they hear is a lot of cost. They hear a lot of
I don't know.
They hear a lot of effort, and they don't want to hear that. Yeah. So I don't. I was saying just before we went on air that Mike Pence is. I'm actually praying. I'm sincerely praying that Trump stays healthy, because a Pence presidency is about the worst thing I can imagine.
I don't know much about this Pence guy.
Yeah.
But,
well.
I could say
I
that,
hope you would dislike him, but I'm worried that you would think he's a cool guy.
Well, I kind of like that guy who was the...
Tim Kaine, Hillary's running mate.
that guy.
Yeah.
I just saw him speak before I came in this morning, and kind of like that guy.
Yeah.
But,
He's
hey,
solid.
No,
Just.
no, that me.
Oh, okay. You don't like your framing?
We're using sound effects to communicate.
I feel like we're in a Star Trek episode all of a sudden.
Why?
Well, it would look more like a Star Trek episode if you started going like here, you've got to do it because I'm not on fan.
Well, I don't know what you're trying to do.
Like the room is shaking as opposed to.
Oh, like it's an earthquake
Yeah,
or something
like,
that.
whoa,
Or the ship just got
Yeah.
hit by a photon torpedo
Yeah,
or something like that, right?
One of those
It
noisy,
is kind of like that. That's the
noisy
nice
outer
thing.
space photon
It's good to
torpedoes.
know that even with our limited technology here, that we can simulate a photon torpedo attack at any time,
It's yeah.
right? Especially now that Trump is president.
Yep. Okay. Now I kind of want Chris to do some kind of big transition with like flames or.
Yeah, the flames or the
Yeah,
I like the bombs.
I like the flame. I like
the
bombs, too.
explosions. He's getting that ready,
Yeah.
no doubt.
He has
No,
a lot of fun with the
yeah, Jerry,
with the
this is Jerry
transition.
Cabral.
There we go.
Oh, we went to the. That makes a noise too on the video.
Not in outer space. Oh, really?
Oh, it does.
Can't make it noise.
Well,
But then
don't
you wouldn't get the.
don't tell the Foley
Yeah,
people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you wouldn't get the oxygen flames. That's oxygen fed fire. Okay. Never mind.
Apparently space doesn't exist, but that is now that's all going to come to
And
the
if
fore
dark
now that
matter
Trump
has
is
waves.
president. I'm just glad that all this spirit cooking is going to come to
Is
an
there
end.
any chance we can now move into an alternate dimension where last night's election went the other way? Can we
It
do
did.
that? It did?
The Mandela effect is
Yeah.
in full effect.
I want to be with the self that is
By the way-
actually in that alternate
Okay,
dimension.
by the way,
Yeah.
I found my own original Mandela effect.
What? Really?
Yeah, I did. I found
Okay,
it.
that's exciting.
It It is. And in fact, I'm going to invite everybody right now to go. They can test it themselves. It's an AC/DC song, so it's Thunderstruck. Listen to Thunderstruck by AC/DC. It's different
Right?
than it used to be. I
What?
promise you.
It's not a remix?
No, it's just different now. Also, okay, I'm going to give you two more.
Okay.
Two more. And this is just a test because if the Mandela effect is actually a real thing, then yes, you can have a Hillary Clinton victory last night. So my questions are.
Here. Okay, now do that. You can
So
probably put
first
my
of
head
all-
on. I see.
That's good.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, now
I'm
so do
Hugh
this.
Riley.
Just try to lip sync what I'm saying while I'm saying it.
Okay.
When you do that, and then it'll look like, right, that you are actually saying the words that I'm saying, right? Okay. So now, let me ask you: do you remember Depends undergarments?
Yes, of course.
How do you spell Depends?
Depends.
Wrong. See,
What? How do you spell
it's
it?
Depend, and it always has
Oh,
been
you're right.
Depend.
Oh, okay. I actually did know that.
Well, see, that's a Mandela effect for sure. Now, here's the other one that really is kind of getting to me. Like, you know that spice? Turmeric? Mm-hmm. Turmeric?
You mean turmeric?
Now it's turmeric. Yeah, they put an R in there.
Well, but that's yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely the Mandela effect is in effect. You could have a Hillary Clinton victory. And that's just the way it is. Okay, do you want to start the show now?
I'd love to start the show now. I'm still working on my tweet to tell people to watch the show.
After they missed the best part of the show. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to have... Actually, let's begin the show now. We've got our first guest here joining us. Jerry Cabral is here, who's working with a new cryptocurrency, right, Jerry? Called
Yes,
P8X.
P8X, correct.
And we are all about cryptocurrency here at that channel, so we really want to have a fantastic conversation.
Awesome.
So, how do you want to start? Do you want to just give us a little bit of an introduction to this new cryptocurrency?
Sure, definitely.
Can you explain maybe to viewers what a cryptocurrency is? Because I think people have heard of Bitcoin, but many of us, and I've had an education recently, but I think a lot of people don't actually know what that is or how it works or why we should even be excited about it.
Well,
10 words or less.
in
I'm
its
kidding.
most simplistic form, okay, there's a lot of information online, but in its most simplistic form, cryptocurrency is basically, it's a digital currency, okay, not controlled by any central government or corporation. It's totally decentralized and it is controlled by the networks. That's it. That's very simple, simplistic form.
Okay, so that's now I understand you're a marketing guy with P8X,
yes.
and but you started off as a coder, right? Like a programmer.
Yes, my background, my actual background is actually programming. I started off programming when I was 18 years old. Okay, so and I worked on IBM mainframes. I was programming in COBOL, BASIC,
Wow.
Fortran. I worked with Fortune 500 companies doing programming work. And I quit doing that about in 2000, and I got involved into online marketing and sales.
All
But
right.
all my life, I've always been, even though I'm a programmer,
Yeah.
I was always hired by big corporations like Kodak or Nationwide Insurance or Glaxo to actually come in and actually find out, troubleshoot the problems, and I would give them solutions. So in a way, I was actually selling the solutions for X amount
Right.
of dollars. Okay?
Right.
So they would hire
Okay.
me as a consultant.
But you
So
would
you
have to
would-
sell them on your
Ideas.
solutions and yourself
Exactly.
and all that stuff.
Right, and the key is that, yes, I would sell them on the ideas, but the executive committees or the management would decide which package they would pick, right?
Right.
They always had
Right.
a choice.
Okay.
Sometimes they would make good decisions, sometimes they would make bad decisions, right? Sometimes it was all about saving cost.
Right.
That was it, right?
Okay. So then,
that's
how
really
did you? Now, were you interested in cryptocurrencies before you got involved with P8X?
I got involved with cryptocurrency way back in about 2011, 2012.
Okay.
And the reason I got involved is because at that time I was acting as a chief financial officer for a tax accounting firm. And one of the clients said, they are mining this digital currency. What are the tax implications?
Right.
And I had no idea what he was talking about.
Right.
So that's when I started getting involved with Bitcoins and trying to figure out what it is.
Did you read the white paper? Satoshi's white paper?
I did not read it.
Yeah.
I did not read it because I looked at it.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm a programming background, right? And I said, this looks too complicated for me.
Did you
Okay.
read that? Did you read the whole thing?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
How was it?
It's very good.
Would you give it like a thumbs up on Amazon?
It
Yeah.
and I'm not a programmer, so it was a little bit too technical for me as well. But the promise of a decentralized currency that nobody can control was an exciting concept
Yeah.
to
Yes.
me, right?
Yes,
Which
yes.
is kind of the essence of and that paper inspired people to create the Bitcoin. So okay, so
Oh,
you
I'm
got
sorry. The white paper actually predates the actual
Yeah.
creation of Bitcoin. Then. Okay.
yeah.
Right, because what happened is that he proposed the idea, and then all these people from all around the world loved the idea and jumped on board.
Okay.
So to date, if you were to add up all of these different currencies, there are over 600 digital currencies worldwide right now.
Yeah.
600.
I bet more.
Okay.
But anyways.
600.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 to 200 of them are brand new startups.
Yeah.
Okay, have zero value. Okay?
Right.
But only time will tell based on supply and demand which one is going to succeed.
Yes.
But if you take the top 10 cryptocurrencies, okay, Bitcoin is one of them, Ethereum is number 2, then there's Dash, there are a lot of others, right? But if you add all of them up, their valuation in terms of actual dollars for transactions is over like 8 to 12 billion dollars.
So that's a significant amount
Yes.
in
And
terms
it's
of even the
yeah,
economy in the world. Yeah.
economy. But if you look at it from an entire global perspective, okay, all of the Bitcoins or cryptocurrencies put together compared to all of the actual money which is there in the world is drop in the bucket.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what this means is that for the 1% or the 2% of the population who embraces it now has a huge potential 5 years or 6 years from now.
The growth of Bitcoin itself, the starting value would be at nothing, right? When you introduce a cryptocurrency,
It was worthless.
It's right.
It was worthless, it was pennies.
So how quickly did Bitcoin grow? Just to give us a sense of how. I think you were telling me actually how PX8 has grown.
Right. So Bitcoin, when it got launched way back in 2008, 2009, I know there are stories where it was worthless, right? Some people said, I have 10,000 Bitcoins.
And someone says, "Good for you."
Yeah, but what can I do with it?
Yeah, it's not even good for paper.
Right. So it's not worth anything. So it was based on supply and demand. But then with time, it was worth $25, $100, and then $200. Right. Now it has reached a point which is almost like 900 Canadian dollars, one
Right.
Bitcoin. Right. So it is, and it's only going to grow in value. Okay. The beauty about cryptocurrencies, what I like about them is basically it's inflation proof. Okay. What that means, inflation proof, is that they have set an X amount of units in the circulation, and that circulation will not increase. So what will happen with time? Okay, some of that will be eroded. Okay, some of that cryptocurrency or Bitcoins will be lost forever because people lost their hardware because it's actually stored digitally.
Right.
Right. And let's say, for example, if my cryptocurrency is stored on this phone, okay, and if I had no backup of this, okay, and this phone crashed and broke, that's it. My cryptocurrency is lost. Okay, so you always have to figure out a way, what's the safe place to keep it. I prefer to keep my Bitcoins or cryptocurrencies on an exchange, so it's controlled in the cloud. So I have access to it wherever I go, right?
So provided the internet never goes down, you're fine.
Exactly, right?
So this is interesting because I know that one of the things that's always been attractive about the internet itself is that there is no central government controlling it. There's no central control of it. There's no central location. No matter what, I'm always stunned that people who don't really understand how the internet works thinks that you can actually go to a place where the internet is
Right.
and turn it off.
Right.
But in this case, we're talking about pretty much the same kind of idea. There must be ways that people can steal control of the cryptocurrency in certain ways and control. I mean, if you control a server that has cryptocurrency on it, obviously, I guess you have that.
Well, the beauty about cryptocurrency is because the information is stored on millions of computers
Right.
worldwide. So if you want to, like, if you want to shut down, you have to shut down like all of the million computers.
Right.
And then it'll be lost, right? So the whole idea with cryptocurrencies or digital currency is that if you have your cryptocurrency, right? And if somebody hacks into your phone, he can literally steal it. Okay? So that's an example of a cryptocurrency, somebody hacking into your system or computer and stealing it. Okay?
Right.
And it has happened.
Right.
Okay? All the time, it has happened. Okay? And millions of dollars have been lost. Now, this is the same way as you actually have physical money in your basement,
Yeah.
and a thief walked in and stole the money.
Is that a positive thing?
Right.
Is that a
So-
selling point of cryptocurrency?
No, I mean, there are pluses and minuses.
Right.
There are pluses and minuses.
But
right?
the fact that it's not tied to inflation, so it's actually is it actually tied in value? It's tied in value only to
The
supply
market.
and demand.
right.
The
Supply
market.
and demand, and then it's the market. So what happens is that, let's say if the valuation, it's circulating, right? The currency is circulating, right? So what happens is that they say, okay, I want to be part of the game. I want to be in the game. So they say, okay, if you want to be in the game, how much are you willing to pay? So in this case, P8X, right now we are in the startup of phase 1. Well, you can come on board with 33 cents. Okay,
So this
per
is a
coin.
great opportunity. For
That's the
people.
opportunity because
Right.
you're at the startup phase. Okay.
Now, okay, so Jerry, you mentioned a little bit about the anti-inflationary aspects of Bitcoin, and there's, the thing about the cryptocurrencies. Every cryptocurrency sort of has its own kind of defining parameters, right,
Right.
at the beginning.
So Bitcoin has a number of.
Yeah, like
Bitcoins
Bitcoin
then,
has
or-
set the finite number of Bitcoins that there will ever be. What is it, 20 million or 21 million?
21
something like
million.
that. So, and that's an exciting prospect because, even though there's only 21 million Bitcoins, they could contain the entire world economy. And
Yes.
what would that mean for the value of one Bitcoin? We'll just leave that question hanging in the air for a second. So it seems to me that the other people that have created new cryptocurrencies have looked at Bitcoin. They've looked at its particular blockchain, its defining parameters, and they've said, you know what, maybe we think a better approach would be we're going to define it a little bit differently. We're going to set a different number of coins that can be minted. Some even have an infinite number, of coins that are possible. There are some now that aren't even using blockchains, I think. But so I'm very interested in kind of finding out about the defining parameters of P8X, because for people that are into cryptocurrency, this will be good. They're going to evaluate P8X in part on that basis. So can you tell us a little bit about what the creators of P8X were thinking and how they defined P8X and why it might be a better bet than some of the other cryptocurrencies?
Okay. So let me kind of give you a little bit of an overview how P8X came about. P8X is actually a joint venture collaboration project between the entrepreneurs and innovators and developers from Europe and China.
Okay.
And collaboratively we are working together. Now, the word P8X evolved from a Chinese word. So we cannot use the Chinese word, so we said it actually translates to prosperity 8 times.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the Chinese word was too complicated, and I said nobody will ever pronounce it correctly. So we just came up with the acronym P8X, and that was it.
Okay.
The defining parameters is that P8X will be a decentralized system. Okay? It will have its own proprietary blockchain. It will have its own wallet systems, which will be linked to other cryptocurrencies. For example, right now it will be linked to Bitcoin exchanges. It will be linked to Ethereum exchanges. And there will be a set value to exchange between Bitcoin and P8X, or Bitcoin and Ethereum and P8X. We are also working with another Chinese new currency called Roma coin, okay, which is in development in China and Europe. So the whole idea is that there are different projects which are working on together, collaboratively, we are working together. The entire framework is that we are going to produce, in the next 5 years, they're going to roll out 120 million units of P8X coins.
Is that going to be the total amount?
That will be the total amount.
120 million?
Million, 120
Okay.
million P8X coins.
You should so make it 128. That would be so much. That would be such a great number.
Yes. But that's the number that has been set. And right now, where the opportunity is, literally, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. And by the way, this is the first time I'm on the air talking about P8X, because the information that I'm giving out is actually approved by the Supreme Committee and the Global Steering Committee of P8X. And I'm the executive director of the North America Steering Committee. So my job is to coordinate the activities within North America and relay the information to Europe and the Asia markets. So we have 120 million coins that will be released in the next 5 years time frame. And right now the opportunity is phase 1. And in the phase 1, they're going to be releasing 12 million coins. And these 12 million coins are assigned to business owners, entrepreneurs, programmers, developers, networkers, to spread the word, to help develop the system. So this is phase 1. So this is really historical, because you can participate in this using your talent or using your capital or investment at 33 cents.
Right.
Right?
Now,
That's the
can you explain
opportunity.
a little more about the idea of bringing your work to this? That actually you're because the way that you were talking about the way that that you can actually exchange your work for.
Well, the idea is with P8X, what we want to do is basically, it's like it's a trading system. We want to use P8X as a trading system so that we can facilitate trade between Asia and Europe. Okay, especially right now, Europe is hurting. Okay, so we're saying, what can we do to help the Europeans to export more, to generate more cash flow,
Right.
income?
And what you've got is you've got a lot of old money in Europe. You've got a lot of resources in Europe, but you've got a lot of amazing labor coming out of Asia. A lot of innovation, a lot of
Yes.
energy.
Exactly, right? So now both of these continents, right? So you have technology, you have money over here, you have young people and money in Asia, okay? So we want to exchange that, facilitate that transaction fast, okay? So we want to target business owners to facilitate the transaction using P8X coins, okay? So now the idea is, that's the vision, but we want to take it a step further. We really want to take it to a village in India. Okay, a village in India right now, there are some villages, there is no bank. So the only way you can open up a bank account is by going to a post office and getting money. Or if you want to send somebody money, you go to the post office and you get it. Or you go to a village in Africa, or some villages in Mexico. So we want to encourage a trading between the people amongst themselves to trade, okay, using P8X, but it has a value attached to it.
Right.
And create the local exchanges to develop the local market.
So that makes sense. So, now someone in a village in India or Africa or whatever can be trading with P8X on their cell phone, for
Exactly.
example, right?
Exactly.
So, okay, now, but where does the value come? Is it solely determined by the market?
The value will be determined based on the supply and demand. Okay, so supply and demand is going to be, when we are doing the trade, okay, there will be, based on the trade, there will be a volume. So how much volume is in the network? Based on the volume in the network, how much is the buys, how much are the sells, right? That will determine the market rate, right? That's the only way. So I cannot predict what the rate will be, but all I can say is that it's only going to go up in the upward direction.
So can I ask you, so that somebody in a village or anywhere actually, but let's just say in that village in India is making a transaction with their neighbor even. Right?
Exactly.
And they can use P8X, and so they're going to agree to how many of these. So they're going to establish probably essentially an arbitrary value of what they're going to transact for how many of the P8X currency. Of course, they can refer to what the value of the P8X is at any given moment to Bitcoin and Ethereum, right?
Exactly. That will be based on that. It will be linked to that. So they can say, so right now, let's say we are a startup, okay?
Yeah.
So as a startup, nobody knows P8X. Nobody knows about P8X.
Yeah.
So it's worthless, okay?
Yeah.
It's not worth anything except based on as a startup, okay? But now, because you have P8X,
Yeah.
And because it is linked to a Bitcoin wallet,
Yeah.
and it is linked to an Ethereum wallet, there will be an exchange. You can do that exchange to do the conversion into Bitcoin or an Ethereum. And once you have that, you can actually link it to your bank account.
Right.
Okay, so the P8X is instantly, anytime convertible to Bitcoin or Ethereum,
That's the whole concept.
right?
Right.
So, and which is also then immediately convertible to, say, Canadian dollars.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, let me ask you. You mentioned facilitating trade between China, Asia, and Europe, but here we are in Canada.
Right.
So how does this, like, why should Canadians pay attention to this? And what's your message to Canadians about P8X?
My message to Canadians is basically this is a huge opportunity to participate because we have some of the smart business people, business entrepreneurs, to participate in this and become an active player or an active actor in the transactions, to set a legacy, right? Like, for example, the founder of Ethereum is a Canadian,
Really?
right? Okay, so
I actually know nothing about Ethereum, so
right?
me saying
So
really
again,
is like,
so we want to
yeah,
put
I don't know anything.
Canada on the map, on the roadmap, right? So yes, we are involved in the development of new cryptocurrencies, and there are like thousands of other professionals in Canada who are already involved with it. I want not the technical people, I want the business community to get involved with it.
So why? Please sell us on P8X, because I'm thinking right now, why would we want to use P8X instead of just using Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or any of the
Or
others?
Canadian money for that matter. Right?
Well, I don't want to get into that conversation because I'm
Yeah.
specifically wanting to talk about why P8X over other cryptocurrencies.
Okay. Yeah, and then if
Because I'm
we have
speaking to
time,
people, we
who
are
actually
speaking to
already know
people who are
about
already sold on
cryptocurrencies.
cryptocurrencies.
The biggest selling point, is a new cryptocurrency. It's encrypted, it's decentralized, it'll have its own proprietary blockchain. The unique feature about this is going to be is that transactions could be made public or private. You're going to have both the features. Okay, so you
How
can
does that
have.
contrast right now? Are Bitcoin and Ethereum all public, all private?
Well, they're open. It's all on a blockchain. So
Okay.
if it is on a blockchain, which means all the information is accessible.
Okay.
Okay, but then there are other networks, other cryptocurrencies where everything is private,
Okay.
right? So you kind of have either it's public or private, right? But what we want to do is that we want to keep it public and private at the same time. You decide how you want to do it. So let's say, for example, a transaction that happens in India, you want to keep it public, okay? But then there is another transaction you want to keep it private. So we want to control that. That's number one. Number two is that we want to facilitate trade between Europe and Asia, okay? That trade between Europe and Asia is going to be massive, and we are targeting export-import companies to use our systems, okay?
Right.
That's going to be like millions of dollars.
But in a way, you can't control who's going to use P8X or
No,
not.
we
That's
cannot.
really just a target market that you're going for. It could turn out, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that anybody who wants to use P8X can use it for any kind of transaction.
Yes, it could be used for any type of transactions, but we are hoping through the technology, through the platform, through the structure, through the framework that we are building, that we will be able to guide and try to focus on certain key sectors or certain target markets, like the emerging markets or like the villages in local countries, right? Or it could be somebody could say, I want to take this and expand it into the export-import business. Or somebody could say, I want to actually use this P8X system to trade gold with it.
Right.
Okay. So whatever is the trading, right, we are going to evolve because it's a member-to-member contracting system.
Right.
Okay. Now the best way to describe it is the old way. It's the old way of doing bartering.
Well, that's what I liked about it, and that's what I was gathering from what you were saying. And what I was picturing actually was, because I always come back to culture and the arts because that's sort of my general field, and thinking that would actually make things really good for me because I have a lot of contacts in India who'd like to work for me, and if I could actually pay them in a cryptocurrency, I could work with them now, as opposed to trying to work with them at some point down the road when I have more cash flow to do this, to do that. I love the idea of being able to exchange to exchange something with real value with someone who's giving me something of real value.
Right. So here is this is perfect because P8X can definitely work in that way. But I don't need P8X right now, okay? Because I'm actually paying my people, my developers, my consultants who are working for me in China, in Malaysia, in Romania, okay? All of these people, I pay them using cryptocurrency, okay? The old ways, I used to go to the bank and transfer money. It
Right.
would take them 5 days. Or I have to go to Western Union, okay, and transfer money. And then Western Union will charge me a lot of fees. Here, with a touch of a button, I can transfer funds.
Yep.
And they get a notification within an hour and a half, confirmation that money is in their wallets. Okay? Now I can send money to somebody in Pakistan, in India, anywhere in the world. Okay? So I'm now, even though I'm Canadian based, I have people working for me. I'm all around the world. And their payment is basically based on trust. Okay? And the trust, how did we establish trust? Well, the trust is actually right now established using cryptocurrency because they know they will be paid, right? Whether they're going to be paid now or they have paid in the future, or there are certain contracts that we have defined, okay? And they're delivering value to me. And for that value that they deliver to me here in Canada or in the US, they are getting exchanged in cryptocurrency. Now that cryptocurrency actually fluctuates in value based on supply and demand. But at any point in time, they can exchange it with their local currency
Right.
in India or in their home country, wherever it is.
And anytime they want, they can actually pay someone else using the cryptocurrency, which
Exactly.
keeps it circulating.
Exactly.
But why use P8X over, say, Bitcoin?
The very good question. The whole idea is that we want to create a niche, and our niche market unique selling proposition is basically it's a totally encrypted digital currency, and we want to make it so easy that you don't have to be technical to do mining. Right now, if you have to do mining for any of these cryptocurrencies, okay, you have to be very technical and you have to have a lot of hardware.
Yes.
Yes.
We're trying to get
power,
rid of ours.
right?
Yeah.
And that hardware, okay, yes, it is doing justice, but it needs a lot of electricity, needs a lot of power.
So
Okay?
how do you mine P8X?
Well, what we want to do is that, again, it's proprietary information. What we want to do is that we want to develop it in such a way, okay, it will have encrypted systems, cryptology, okay, but we want to make it simple. We want to make it simple, and we don't want to just depend on computers. We want to use the phones because this has certain power in it, okay. We want to use other gadgets that are available so that it can be interfaced to also do mining.
So you're saying almost harness the computing power of almost any device to mine?
Exactly.
So that means I could be storing the cryptocurrency on my phone and using my phone
Exactly.
to mine as well.
Exactly. So you can do two things at the same time.
So is this going to be app-based then? Is that was that what we're talking about, or is there actually going to be some kind of hardware?
It's going to be application based, and it'll be on all devices, okay. And then it's going to have people. We're calling it miners, okay. We are also going to have miners, and the miners will have an opportunity. If they want to mine a lot of bitcoins, yes, then they're going to have a lot of hardware, okay. They're going to invest in hardware. But then there's an average person saying, no, well, I just want to have it on my tablet. I just want to mine it on my tablet, okay. Then we'll make it available for them. I want to make it so easy so that even a farmer in India can download this on their tablet and can mine it.
So do you still have to build this mining app?
Yes, we are, like I said, we are in the phase 1. We are in the development phase, and a lot of the modules are being built.
Okay.
Right? So again, is that we have put together our white paper or executive summary of what needs to happen, and now different professionals and entrepreneurs and developers are coming on board and saying, okay, I'm going to do this piece. I'm going to do that piece of the puzzle, right? So we have a lot of different people coming on board to work on different pieces of the project, and then slowly and slowly we are building it to get it active.
Is there an architect of this cryptocurrency?
The architect is there, but again, I cannot give out all the information, right?
So there is a mastermind behind here who has conceived
Donald
how
Trump.
the blockchain is going to
Yes, there
roll
is
out.
there is a mastermind, but it's not really one person. It's actually a team of people who have masterminded together.
Now, do you know some of these people personally?
I know some of these people personally, and I know some of them basically only on the internet because we have had Skype calls.
Okay, now why are you so keen on P8X? Because it's not launched yet, right? I don't know how you mentioned that there's going to be a phase one, 12 million P8X
120
coins.
million.
120
no,
million.
12 million in the first,
Oh, in the first,
phase.
okay.
you
Phase
said,
one is
Phase
right?
12
one.
million. Yes.
So I don't know how that's going to happen because they have to be created, my understanding, as they are mined. You can't just release 12 million cryptocurrencies.
No. What is happening right now is that basically we are uh, we are uh, we are basically taking orders, right? We are taking orders, and the system has already gone live. Okay,
Taking orders for what?
taking orders for the transactions to mine. Okay, so for example, if somebody is saying, yes, I want to come on board and I want 100 of these coins, okay, I'm going to do work for 100 of these coins, or I want to put in $10,000 to be part of this team as a founder, right? So then what we do is that in phase one, what is happening is that you're getting 1-to-3 ratio. So for every $100 you're putting in, you're getting a $300 return, projected return. Okay. So what this means is that this is the opportunity for new members, for developers, entrepreneurs to come on board to participate in the growth. But for me, more importantly, why am I excited about this is basically I want to create a legacy. I want to create a legacy saying that, okay, here is a guy from India, or here's a guy from Canada. He participated in the early stage of this cryptocurrency, and this cryptocurrency is a super success. Okay, or this cryptocurrency basically got started off, okay, and 3 months or 6 months down the line was bought over by another large cryptocurrency. We don't know, because we are having discussion that, there are other groups working, and then it's like, who is developing the best performance? They might take over this entire project from us, right? And whoever takes it over, that will only make the cryptocurrency more stronger, increase its value.
See, analogously, this is why I've never been a Word fan. I don't use Microsoft Word, and I love the open source programs that have come out of people's frustration with a centrally controlled Microsoft Word. So I use LibreOffice. I used to use OpenOffice, and then enough developers got on board with LibreOffice that it's now a better program. So it sounds a lot like that. You've got actual developers who are working hard to make something as good as possible and make it preferable to the sort of standardized option, the controlled option.
Yeah.
That's sort of what we're talking
Well,
about.
we want to make it easy, user friendly,
Yeah.
not technical, and does not need to take so much of power.
Now you've told us some of the things that are positive about PAX. Can you just give us the biggest negatives you see with say the two main cryptocurrencies that are already in existence? What's the main negative about Bitcoin?
The negatives about Bitcoin. I would say the biggest negative about Bitcoin is basically based on the media, right? Based on what the media has released out is basically they're saying Bitcoin is being used for undercover operations, or basically they're trying to do some black transactions, okay, not valid transactions, right? Or somebody's trying to hide their tracks using, perform a task and hide their money, right? So that's what,
Yeah, I think, people can research cryptocurrencies, and
Yep.
I really want this conversation to focus for
On
people who are
PAX.
already sold on
Right.
cryptocurrencies. So I'm just want to, and we don't have a lot of time left. But I'm still curious because I'm still not. So it's not out yet. You're still building the technical, the apps that are going to mine it, and the wallets and
People
that
do already
sort of
hold
thing.
Bitcoins, or they
Yes,
just
we
hold
already-
the promise to hold Bitcoins?
we already have people already hold some of the P8X coins, and some of them actually have the physical contracts with them, okay, and basically it's right now all working on one server, right? So what is happening is that they are actually coming on board, and they're actually just buying some of these, pre-ordering these coins.
But the
right
coins don't actually exist yet.
now. No, not yet.
So what you're going to do, so you're saying they're physical contracts,
They're-
and these
they're-
will be inputted into the blockchain once the blockchain is launched.
Exactly.
When will the blockchain, is there a date that the blockchain will be launched to
Well,
start rolling?
Right now we are in the very early stages. So the blockchain is already active, and it is in the phase 1 of its beta testing right now.
Okay.
Right. So what we want to do is that we want to get it working on one server. Once it starts working on one server, then we want to replicate it on as many servers as possible based on the number of miners that come on board.
And the other thing, to me, it is important that some people have, actually, getting back to your question there, Jen, about negatives, some people have talked about a potential wall that Bitcoin could hit when the blockchain gets so long that it becomes potentially too difficult to keep the computations going on it. And so other people have come up with, this is why I think was the main impulse for Litecoin. And so it seems to me that if somebody's going to come out with a new cryptocurrency, they have to have a new, like a vision of why, we love Bitcoin, but we are defining our coin this way because it's dealing with what we perceive as weaknesses with some of the other coins, some of the other rule sets of the parameters that define the coins or limitations of the blockchain itself. Is there like a vision of in terms of how PBX was defined? Like, for example, somebody chose that it would have 120 million of them. There must have had a reason for that particular figure. Is there a particular technology behind the blockchain that is unique, that is better, special than any of the other cryptocurrencies? This is what I'm getting at. What is it about PAX that's like really special, really unique, visionary, that people can get excited about, that, yeah, maybe this is better than Bitcoin or Ethereum or some of the others?
Well, the whole idea is that we don't want to say that, we are going to be better than Bitcoin or we are going to be better than Ethereum. We want to basically build our own niche to make it unique. And what is going to make us unique is because our mining operations are going to be simple, non-technical. Our blockchains are going to be, again, private or public. That's another important feature of the blockchain. And the blockchain is going to be unlimited because basically with today's technology, with all of the databases and big data infrastructures that are out there, you can actually build it infinitely. Okay, there should not be a stopping point for it because it'll go on forever, for all of mankind, right? Until and unless maybe some other big technology comes on board. But the biggest important thing about PAX cryptocurrency is to encourage trade between Asia and Europe. Okay, that's the first step. And the second step is to get access to the ordinary person in a village to get access to PAX coins. Okay, and those PAX coins will have its own set values of exchanges in their local currency or linked to other cryptocurrencies that they can exchange easily, right? So the most important thing is that, like, we don't want to spend too much of time building exchanges because exchanges are already built. So all we want to do is that set our value to an exchange related to Bitcoin or Ethereum based on the market demand, and automatically when that exchange happens, you can actually convert that PAX into a Bitcoin, and Bitcoin can be liquidated instantly, okay, with a touch of a button, and the money gets transferred into your bank account like within 5 minutes or within 24 hours.
Okay, so we're just about out of time here,
Okay,
Jerry. Although
perfect.
if you need to come back and
Sure.
carry on this conversation, we're happy to do that. But
We'd love to have an update, actually.
I just want to know, and we're going to tell people how they can get in touch with
Sure.
you and maybe order some of these,
Sure.
get involved in the project. But is there any final pitch you want to give us about PAX, or have you pretty much said
The final pitch, what I can say is my whole strategy is for Canadians and North Americans or any business person, get involved because we are in the phase 1. You have nothing to lose. right? Invest your talent or put in something and get started with the program and experiment, play with the program. That's the best way to learn about it, because that's how I learned Bitcoin. I put in some money and I played with it and I just got better and better, okay? And that's it. So my whole idea is get involved, and if you're an open-minded business entrepreneur, okay, that wants to participate or invest and be part of the P8X group to create a legacy, we like to talk to you. We want to, figure out how we can work together. The the second point is that we are a ground floor opportunity. And when I say ground floor opportunity, I would say maybe even 5 or 6 floors below the ground. Okay, so it's really a ground floor opportunity for you to get involved, because we are in the phase 1 of the project. So huge upside potential, huge upside potential. And the whole idea is that what makes us so unique is basically our contracts are basically meant for member to member contracting. And the mining will also happen based on member to member contracts. And you can define what these contracts are, whether it is for food, whether it is for gasoline, whether it is for business, does not matter. So you can define what that contracts are, and you can set a value and build frameworks around that, right? So that is some of the unique selling features about this technology, right? And you can get more information on p8xorg.com, p8xorg.com. That's one of the sites. There's also another site which is going to be coming up online. It will be called p8xcoin.com. It is not yet active. It will be coming up very soon. So those are the two main sites to watch out for. Right?
Any idea when the mining apps will be launched?
We are actually in the test mode,
Yeah.
and what we are doing is that we are actually right now in the phase 1. Okay, in the phase 1 is that the members who are getting involved with us, we are releasing some of the technology for them to play with, because some of the members, they just say we want to learn about mining. Okay, and also keep in mind P8X is also a cryptocurrency mining system. Okay, so if you're not interested in P8X, we can show you how to mine Bitcoins.
In other words, your apps won't be able to mine
other cryptocurrencies.
all of the other ones, because there's like
Right,
two.
right now we are only going to be mining P8X is number 1, Bitcoin is number 2, Ethereum is number 3, and then there is a 4th one which is under development in China and Europe. It's called the Roma coin.
Okay,
so
that's,
those are the 4 ones that we are going to mine.
so once the apps are out, and like you said, you're making it easy for non-technical people to
Yes.
do mining by simply downloading the apps on any device or
Yes.
computer. They can select from this list of cryptocurrencies which they want to mine.
Right, exactly. So right now what we are doing is that we are very selective on, before we actually give them the application, we ask them what is their preference, right? So
Yeah.
we are selectively, because we are testing the modules to make it effective.
Right.
Okay, Jerry. Now, you're here in Toronto.
Yes,
do
I'm
you
based
wanna
in Toronto.
give out an email address as well, or can
Yes,
people call
the
you
email-
and get in touch directly?
The best way is to email me or go to the website and request for information. Email address is jerryspeedg@gmail.com.
Okay. All right, Jerry.
Thank you.
This was exciting.
It was
Thank you very
very,
much.
very interesting.
All right.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Could
Thank
be a
you.
game changer.
So we're going to just take a little break, and we're going to come back with T coming up on the show right after this, and it's going to be a great show. We'll continue after this, ThatChannel.com.
Productions.
Oops is right. Those
I love
rings.
those rings.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Those are the rings we're talking about. We're back here on the show. We have T joining us, Indigo Prophet. And T, it was great to just kind of, the reason you're here is we kind of just ran into each other out on the town the other night. And it was, I just want to say thanks for kind of reaching across the table and saying hi.
You're welcome.
Literally? Did he reach?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I
Cool.
interrupted
Yeah.
your conversation gracefully, and I had to because, that channel was popping up in my head, and I want to reach more people. And I came to see you a while back, and a lot has happened since. So
Yeah.
it was very synchronistic, and
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and we're gonna, like we just been talking about, we're just gonna go with the flow
Yeah.
here, and I mean, we got a video lined up from you as a what do you call that? A conscious
Rap
rapper.
artist. Yeah.
So we're gonna play that at the end.
Okay.
But the last time you were here, you were doing hypnotherapy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And now you're here, and you're doing all kinds of other stuff. In fact, you've created that into a whole new modality,
Yeah.
right? Do you want to?
Yeah, it started. I mean, first of all, thanks for having me.
I
It's
just
so
like
good
the
to
word
be
that we've
here.
used. We've used the word modality already.
Modality?
That's great. I'm already excited about this interview.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny. On my way here, I stopped by TD, the one close by, and that was my last regular job outside of what I wanted to do with my life. And I was getting pretty suicidal. I was writing poetry while I was standing. I was a security guard in the TD bank. I got fired from every job I've had since I've been applying for work, and I walked in and I just tried to see if I could remember the staff. I remember I was sitting in the corner just writing poetry, and I got fired from that job, and I just saw it now. So coming here, and since the last time I saw you when I was doing hypnotherapy, and seeing that, which was the last job before I started hypnotherapy, is beautiful, just to reflect on and just be appreciative of where I am now and be grateful for it. And yeah, it started off as a hypnotherapist. I was getting fired from every job. I prayed to the universe to show me what I'm here to be, what I'm here to do. Is there anything that I'm good at that I won't be fired from? And helping people came through. And met my ex-wife at the time. She gave me some confidence to believe in myself, because I didn't have any confidence. I was getting the lowest grades in school, fired from every job, just was taught I'll always be a failure at a very early stage in my life. So worst conditioning you can imagine, destined for failure. But through all of that, yeah, asked the universe what I'm here to do. I got the sign to be a hypnotherapist. I love that it was a 7-day course, because I hate school. It was just 7 days, and you could be a certified hypnotherapist. So I found a course here in Toronto, Debbie Papadakis, Hypno Healing Institute. You guys might know her.
She's been on the show,
Yeah.
and she's big in the whole hypnotherapy
She's huge.
community in
Yeah.
Ontario, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I was with her, celebrities were wanting to pay her thousands of dollars to go travel to Hollywood and work with her, and she was featured in the Oprah magazine. Really amazing stuff. So I'm glad and she had certificates all over her classroom, and she had a whole room just for more certificates. And so it started off with that. People were blown away. They're like, Tariq, I've had this issue my whole entire life. And we just spent an hour together, and now I'm not afraid of standing in public. I'm not afraid of water anymore. I don't feel like smoking anymore, and all those things. But it was never enough for me. I felt like there's so much more. Let's explore past lives. Let's explore the root of where these traumas stem from. So we started delving into childhood traumas. I created the forgiveness process. We created the manifestation process. Just kept evolving it. I went out. I wanted to create the most powerful healing facilitation experience. So if people came to me, they wouldn't have to work over and over again on the same issue, and that they'll get the results as fast as humanly possible. So yeah, 8 to 9 years of working with whatever people told me were, go study with this lady, study this modality, take this course. So I took all their courses, programs, worked with them, took what worked, added what was missing, and created the Infinity Healing process, which was voted recently top 3 most powerful healing modality in the world by a lady who's worked with tons of healers. Very honored to hear that. And what makes it different is that, first of all, I work with conscious spiritual women who want to thrive doing what they love, who want to align with their life purpose, and reach as many people as they can, making a bigger difference with their gifts, talents, and abilities. That's my tribe. You know, people told me I'm an indigo child, like an old soul, like most of us, and here to make a difference. So that's my #1 priority. And usually the issues they come for are abundance blocks. So money issues, not charging, like we're talking about artists, not charging as much as they're worth, and healers definitely have that as well. We're not charging what we're worth.
Right.
But at the core of it, we always find out it's something from their childhood that hasn't been addressed. And I can empathically, I'm very sensitive. Like my own mom tells me, Tark, you're way too sensitive. I can pinpoint empathically, if I choose to connect with someone, where the core block stems from in their energy field, and we can clear it right then and there.
Now, okay, so tell me, because I think a lot of people are aware not only of what's holding them back,
Yeah.
but why they're like that.
Yeah.
But the missing piece is how to actually get through that to the point where you feel free. I've described depression, for example. It's not that when you're depressed you have no energy, it's that you've got a significant, severe energy blockage. And often you have anxiety because you've got a lot of energy, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So is this, I mean, because it seems like magic when you're talking about it.
Yeah, but like this is what I say is, let's say when you were a child, your dad just like slapped your hand and said, you're a bad girl, go to your room. That took 5 seconds to do. Why can't it take us 5 seconds to release whatever wasn't expressed in that moment and instead was suppressed? That started to build since that age, that is affecting, that, you know, became something a lot more. But that core slap, you're a bad girl, go to your room, I'm not good enough, a belief was created that said I'm a bad person. An emotion of guilt or whatever came up that got suppressed. So why can't it take a few seconds for us to release those beliefs and release those emotions?
Okay, is this why assholes always seem healthier than nice people?
Because they just get it out of their
Because they
system.
just get it out of their system right away. Like I have a feeling that probably Donald Trump is like the world, like in a very real way, is the world's healthiest person because he has absolutely no control of his impulses. He has absolutely no ability to moderate or modulate what he feels. And like, is that actually the case?
Here's the thing, like we always look at these people and only focus on like the constructive feedback, but like they definitely do get it all out of their systems, and maybe we need to learn to be more like no more Mr. or Mrs. Nice Guy and like, or girl, and just like get it out. Some of us,
Yeah.
especially in my community, we're way too nice. We haven't integrated our shadow side, and we judge the crap out of everything that's not lovey-dovey. So like, why not fully be in our power and walk around, and anything we see in others say like, there's a part of that in me, there's a part of that in me, because otherwise we're stuck in a dualistic thing, which is what they want us to be in, like black and white and
Right.
good or bad. And yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I'm just thinking that I've been thinking this for a while, that that we focus a lot on over-entitled people. We love them. We follow them on the internet. We adore them. We pump them up as if the very fact that somebody is excessively full of self-belief that makes them a good person. Or we talk about over-entitled people and about how to draw them back. Like, that person really shouldn't be doing those things because it hurts all these people. It makes all these problems for other people. They're unaware. They're insensitive. But we very seldom focus on the fact that a lot of us are very under-entitled. We don't believe that we deserve to even speak our minds. We believe that we should be curbing everything that we feel about ourselves. And we don't talk about under-entitlement the same way we talk about over-entitlement.
Yeah, I mean, I believe we can look at everyone and forget the messenger and just take the message, take the inspiration, because if you look at life that way, then everyone becomes your teacher, good or bad, like and you just take what's good, like leave the stuff that doesn't resonate with you, and just take the fact that, you know, he's written books, he's very successful, he's got a very strong mindset, strong confidence, not afraid to go out there and speak his mind. Let's integrate some of that into our realities.
I guess that kind of follows the Zen concept that everyone can learn from a wise man, but only a wise man can learn from everyone.
I like that.
Q?
Okay.
Hugh.
So T, so no, there was some other stuff we were going to talk about today too, right?
Yeah.
Like besides
More than this?
the modality that you're doing.
This is already
Yeah.
cool.
And we're going to see some of your music in a bit.
Yes.
But what was the other stuff we were going to talk about?
We're talking about how music plays its role in society
Right.
to actually literally change the world, whether it's art, whether it's music. How, like, what is that role for what is the artist's role in society, and can music actually change the world and make a big impact?
Well, I think I agree with you. I think music is really big. I mean,
I think
we've
corporate
seen
music-
I've seen the music change the world in our lifetimes. The Beatles, along with the Tavistock Institute and the
There's a day the
the
music
MK
died,
Ultra
too.
people, Illuminati, but that's all over
Clockwork
now that Trump
Orange.
is president. So
Well, there doesn't need to be any more Illuminati because they're
But
now in charge.
we'll get to that later. I'll
Okay.
explain it afterwards,
All
Jen.
right, all right.
But okay, so T,
Embracing
tell us
myself.
how you think music can change the world.
Yeah, so what you were mentioning about the Beatles, so everyone looks at music in whatever's on the radio, like whatever started with the Beatles in terms of using artists as an experiment to control the populace, to keep them in a certain state of frequency, whether it's just completely blissed out in their own bubble, and not being fiery or upset or angry or using that natural human emotion to react and make a difference where there's injustice, which worked beautifully. Whatever started back then, I can only imagine what's happening right now. And some of the research that I've done really shows that it's still going on. And if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, watch Josie and the Pussycat Dolls, because that movie completely depicts in a very comedic way exactly
Oh
how
my
the music
God.
industry controls the
Okay,
minds
and that's
of
even more
all-
hilarious.
Really?
No,
Okay.
see, that's even more hilarious.
Oh,
See,
Josie?
no,
Josie
no,
and the
just
Pussycat Dolls?
just because that's actually it's actually Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh, Pussycats.
And the Pussycat Dolls or something else. Like that's that's one of the biggest
that was
corporate.
okay.
That's hilarious. No, but
Okay.
that just proves your point
Yeah.
because that's actually integrating like something that came out of like the lovely Archie comics.
Yeah.
And became a big corporate thing.
I never saw that movie though. I
Well,
just used to watch
yeah.
the cartoon when I
Yeah.
was a kid.
But you saw? Did you
If you
did you
watch
see
the movie-
did you see the Spice Girls movie? I think it's the
No.
same kind of thing. It's like
So maybe
it's
we'll
like-
screen it here,
yeah.
T.
Yeah.
We'll watch Josie and the Pussycats. So it does. Okay,
So,
so,
literally they'll play a song and then everyone's running to the stores to buy like a new product, right? So it's like consumerism, and they can use music for whatever. Right now, whichever artists are under a certain control would tell their audience subliminally to vote for a certain person.
well, we had Lady Gaga up there supporting Hillary yesterday.
There you go. So yeah, they're all being bought. They're all being influenced. So God knows what's subliminally in the music. I mean, they've been telling us this since Led Zeppelin back in the day. So I can only imagine what's in it now. But what I know for sure is that everything's energy, everything's frequency. And if you can keep people at a certain frequency, they're lower vibration, they're easier to control. And when you listen to hip hop, which was soulful when it first started, it was political. You got Public Enemy, KRS-One, which was very philosophical, esoteric wisdom shared through hip hop. Public Enemy, then Rage Against the Machine, like these
Immortal
were
Technique.
Immortal Technique. Thank you. These artists are truly using music to shed some light into what's going on, to create some form of a movement of inspiration, motivation. So I took what I researched, what they put in the music, and did the complete opposite. So if there's energy in rap songs, which is very dumbed down and it's becoming crap hop, it's like shit hop, it's no longer hip hop. They've literally taken the art form and bastardized it and made it where you don't even understand what they're saying anymore. It's completely changed.
And when you do understand something that's supposed to be political, it ends up being kind of pastiche. Like you're like, wow, that's kind of shallow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not really getting to the heart of things anymore.
totally.
And then there's all those girls that sing like they're like stupid, like little
Yeah.
girl singing like this. And I think that's teaching women how to behave too.
Yeah, and when I saw little kids treat their sisters or their mothers the way hip hop's like is encouraging them to be to be that way, I was like, wow, it's still affecting kids, and it's even within the households I'm seeing the effect, because growing up, all the boys are looking up to the rap artists, and the girls are looking up to who knows what. But and the women are looking up to like the Britney Spears and the Miley
No,
Cyrus.
they're looking up to
Lady
how it would
Gaga.
be great it would be to be with one of the rap artists. Like they're not even seeing
that
women
too.
really.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the ones who are in the media started off as these really innocent girls, and then suddenly they all did the shift. Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus,
Yeah.
from like innocent girl to slut. Like that is
Yeah. But
all
those are the
being
only. Those are innocent girl
reinforced.
is a terrible paradigm too. Like
Yeah.
the idea that we only see girls have value when they're stupid and ignorant.
True.
Yeah.
I'm all for empowerment. Yeah, like somewhere in between there,
Do you
there
remember
should be.
I don't know. You're probably too young to remember the '80s when we actually had like female artists. We don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, because I loved Gaga when she came out, but she slowly turned into like just a pothead.
Yeah.
Her MK Ultra programming is starting to
It
crack,
kicked in.
though,
Yeah.
right, T?
Totally. She says she can't sleep at night by herself. She needs people around
I
her
know.
because she's haunted by the demons.
Like her
Trump said-
manager? Yeah, she'd have to sleep with her manager or whatever.
Didn't Trump say exactly the same thing?
That he couldn't sleep
He-
alone?
He can't be alone for a second
Oh,
because
wow.
he needs that constant. He needs that constant adoration.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get it, he's like doesn't think he's a person.
It's
anymore.
okay, though, Jen. We're all coming together as one now. So don't
That's
worry about
really scary. I like to sleep in my own bed by myself. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
it. But T,
Don't come
getting back to
together
this
with
with
me.
the
Yeah, so if they're putting, like, let's say subliminals and heavy frequencies that keep us on a lower vibration, I'm gonna take that and not just let that affect me, not just know that and do nothing about it. I'm gonna take that and turn it into positive and be the change that I wish the music would be. So when people listen to my music now, there's my infinity healing that comes straight from the source, that comes straight from the universe, infused into every song. Kids are listening to it and lowering their dosages for ADHD. Some people are crying when they listen to the music. Not just the words being meaningful and political and spiritual and motivational and inspirational, but the healing that's underneath every single song, every single track is healing on a very deep level.
So if you're an artist listening to this broadcast right now, what should you be doing as a musician to get that into your music?
I mean, that's a great question. Music is naturally healing. Like why do we all listen to Bob Marley, or why are we drawn to John Lennon, or why are we drawn to artists who like heal the world? Michael Jackson, some of his songs, the Earth song. The music is naturally healing. When we sing, we open up our throat chakra, we express ourselves, and with the sounds, we heal. Music's been the ultimate healer from the very beginning. So, but if you want to take it further, if you're like an artist, put some of your art into the CDs, into the background of your performances. Say a prayer if you pray, or set an intention for the listener. When they listen to it, certain things will happen to them. There's all sorts of things we can do. Like, I was inspired by the subliminal stuff that's in some of the songs. It says, like, let's say one of the songs in rock music says, "Go worship Satan," whatever that is. We could take that and use it for good. The Ho'oponopono technique, which is an ancient Hawaiian technique, says the 4 statements of "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you," and we're gonna create a song that has that subliminally in the song while you're listening to rap songs. So you could totally use anything for good or bad and take all that inspiration.
Wait, how do you use that "go worship Satan"
For
subliminal
good?
for positive?
For positive, yeah.
By
you
not
say,
Because we're gonna
saying-
and we'll send this to Hillary.
Maybe you say
Yeah.
for the
stop.
show.
yeah. Well, I'm sure she's already doing it, but
She's doing the spirit cooking.
the spirit cooking. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could this is part of hypnotherapy, is how the subconscious mind works. So if you have a painting here and subliminally somewhere here it says love, like imagine that's an L and that's an O and that's a V and that's an E. You look at it and suddenly you're like, wow, I now want to start loving people. So that's subliminally getting someone's subconscious mind, without them knowing what it is, to do something positive. And you can
Okay.
do the same thing with music. You can
Yeah,
have
but
some
no, but how do you
suggestions
turn
there.
that negative?
So instead of
You want
worship
to turn it
Satan,
negative?
Yeah.
you can, no, if it is negative, how do you turn it
Yeah.
into positive? So you can have, for me, the idea came like just I love you, I love you, I love you, or even I'm so, like the 4 statements that heal everything. I'm sorry, because then you forgive yourself for everything you've done in your past, because a lot of us are held back by things we've done. So I'm sorry, please forgive me. You're asking for forgiveness. Thank you. You're receiving the forgiveness, and I love you. You're replacing it with love. The Hawaiians have been doing that for
I always
since
forget it.
ancient
Sorry, the
times.
first one's "I'm sorry."
Please forgive me.
That's the second one.
Yeah.
Please forgive
Wait,
me.
which one do
Thank
you?
you.
Thank you. I
Which
love
one
love
do you
you.
always forget?
All of them.
All of them.
So there's so much like taking. I don't know anyone who's integrating healing as a healer into hip hop music. So it's really evolutionary. It's really revolutionary, and I'm really excited to continue doing this
It's
consciously. And
So let me ask you this question, and we're gonna, time is marching on, and we've got some great musical guests coming up in a couple of minutes. But just getting back to this whole idea, because I hear what you're saying. You've taken using hip hop for positive stuff, but what you were saying before is like that the music industry, it seems, it's hard for local talent, independent talent to get to kind of rise in the music industry, and I don't even know what a hit means anymore now, because like it's all free on YouTube, right? Like, who's buying records? But the music industry seems to be putting out, like, whoever's a big star musically, it's all coming from the top down from the music industry. Very rare that you're going to get, I guess it still happens, but very rare that an independent act can actually find their audience.
Unless they
right?
get famous on American Idol.
Well, I'm going to say there's rare exceptions. I got to say, I think Adele is fantastic, and she kind of came out of nowhere, I think.
Well, it's
right?
always
But-
amazing because she's another one of those like 10-year overnight sensations who worked her ass off.
Well, they're
and
all
then-
like that,
Yeah.
right? But what I'm saying is the music industry with people like Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, all these ones the ones that do the Super Bowl, all that stuff. It's like there is some kind of very nasty cultural message that's their purpose. It's a top-down, it's a cultural control, negative, harmful, warping the minds of young people. So how are we going to overcome all that?
just becoming aware, like hip hop music united youth all over the world. Show me one thing that's united youth all over the world. Wherever you go in the world, you're going to find graffiti, you're going to find kids freestyling, beatboxing, breakdancing. That's all hip hop that started in one area and spread out to the whole world. So why not use that medium that it's already their language, it's already part of their culture? Why not use something that's already done all the uniting for you, and then just plug into that something that's positive, spiritual, conscious, healing, and then you're reaching our next generation, the ones that are going to grow up and create the world that we're hoping they would create. So all the kids know about, like, we're talking about Illuminati and this and that, like, all the kids already know about that. They're aware, they're conscious, they want to make a difference, they want to do something with their lives, they want to leave an impact. So they're already aware, everyone plays their part, everyone contributes. There's no point just researching and reading your whole life and not doing anything about it and feeling disempowered. You read it, and now it's like, what do you do about it? For everything you're aware of, what do you do about that? Whether it's sharing it on Facebook, whether it's writing a song about it. So right now, what's going on in Standing Rock, I know I have healing abilities that I'm aware of. I know that I'm an artist who's good at writing songs. So, I'd love to do something about that. So let's, me and my friend Michael Moon sent me a song today, and we're going to collaborate in the song Imagine, and we're going to do a song, and all the proceeds are going to go to help support the people in Standing Rock. And that's like my little contribution, and we can all do that with whatever we can. Like, everyone's got something to contribute. Find that thing you're most passionate about, because you don't want to take on all the world's problems, because then it's just you won't be able to do anything. But what are like the 1, 2, or 3 things you're most passionate in the world? Like, I'm super passionate about the school system, like children going through some abuse and trauma. Those are core, or like kids not feeling confident, believing in themselves that they can make a difference. Those are my core wounds, and that's what with my music, with my healing, I help them, take back their power, believe in themselves, contribute what they're here to do. And that's why I'm actually launching a whole online curriculum. We're going to have everything that's not taught in school systems in my new free online curriculum, that kids, especially the old souls who are a little bit more aware than others, like, they can go there, they can learn about art, martial arts, breathing techniques, healing techniques, channeling, or, everything that they're passionate about that school's not teaching them. They can go to this online curriculum and learn it at an early stage in their lives, so they can make a bigger difference faster.
KT.
Because time's not on our side.
It's not? Okay, well, so we're gonna give out all that contact info in just a second.
Yeah.
Right.
Find the thing in your heart that wants to be expressed, and believe that it will make a huge ripple effect on our planet. But you have to own it, share it with everyone you can, get it out there, and continuously grow. Continuously put it out there.
Okay, you gotta give everyone those 4 things one more time, just so that Hugh remembers them.
I was winging
Oh no,
it.
you actually wrote them down though. So I'm sorry.
Whoever you are,
Please forgive
yeah.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I love you.
Okay, T. Okay, we're looking forward to watching this video here. Let's give out your contact info, where the curriculum is, where people can get in touch with you maybe for the process.
Yep. So indigoprofit.com, you get a free mini EP album, and I have 3 albums. Indigoprofit.com, and then miraculousmanifestations.com is my healing website, which you know, you want to align with your life purpose, clear your money blocks, heal your relationship issues. Or TariqBB.com, it's either or, TariqBB.com, miraculousmanifestations.com. And the curriculum, just reach out to me through Facebook, Tariq Bliss BB or Tariq BB. And we have just started to gather people who want to be a part of this. It's a collaborative effort. Everyone's playing a part and contributing. So we just started that. So at this point, instead of just going to that website, which isn't created yet, I'd love for people to reach out and say, hey, I have a little curriculum that teaches girls on how to have strong, healthy boundaries, or I have a curriculum that teaches breathing techniques that we can share with the kids. And it's from kindergarten to grade 12. So any audio, video, PDF that you've created in your business that can help the next generation live a better life, send it to me. We'll put it on this website, and we'll change the world.
All right, T. Awesome. Great.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks
brother.
for coming in, and look forward to having you back anytime you want. And
Thank
looking
you.
forward to this video. And
All
then
right.
I'm just going to say, before we go to the video, we're going to come back with Taylor and Bryn, and we're going to talk some more music. Do you want to set this video up, though, T?
Yeah, so Michael Moon is a #1 New Age, 2 years in a row, like #1 New Age album of the year. He looks like John Lennon, he sounds like John Lennon. I reached out to him, I'm like, a lot of people tell me I sound like Eminem, and I'm like, obviously you sound like John Lennon, so let's do like an Eminem meets John Lennon collaboration. And then my friend Nico, who's an amazing producer, he does the 3rd rap verse in the song. We collected our powers, got together, and you know, the ultimate song, I feel, is Imagine, because it's still very relevant.
Tell me you call yourselves Em and Len.
No.
Aw.
That's if we were together in like a complete group together. We'll look into that. And yeah, we rap remix John Lennon's Imagine, which I haven't heard done, and why not? Like, we need to let the new generation know who our inspirations were, and that song is classic. So we rap remixed it, and Yoko Ono hasn't reached out to us yet, letting us know about any rights or anything.
Oh, well.
And yeah, so we put so that album is called Label Me Infinite, and it's 7 songs with 7 chakras, and each song does a healing for each chakra. So Imagine is song number 2, and that's what this guy represents. It's the Buddha with the awakened 3rd eye. So the healing that you get every time you listen to this video and song is it completely opens up your 3rd eye, so you become more intuitive, you see the truth of every experience, and everything else the 3rd eye does for you. It's integrated into the
Awesome.
song.
So that's going to happen right now. Our
Right
3rd
now.
eyes are
Get
going to get
ready.
open. Everybody out there
Yeah.
watching, same thing's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have our next interview is going to be totally awesome as a result. Not that this one wasn't, of course, because it's Liquid Lunch here on that channel. Thank you, T. Here's the
You're
song,
welcome.
and we'll
Love
be
you
right
guys.
back with Taylor and Bryn.
Spark Productions.
Imagine, oh imagine, imagine, oh imagine,
Imagine every soldier dropped all their guns. Imagine every citizen started to rise up. Imagine every doctor refused to push drugs. Imagine all the gangsters refused to be thugs. Imagine every child was raised and shown love. Imagine all the prophets came back from up above. Imagine guys didn't feel the need to act tough. Imagine that life didn't have to be this rough. Connecting all the dots, unifying all the parts. Imagine no religion, we just followed our own parts. Imagine we were told the truth right from the start. top of the charts. Imagine politicians work for the people. A nation of leaders no longer sheeple. Imagine no more lies, cause everyone is see-through. Imagine you're at war, but decide to be peaceful.
Imagine all the people living for today.
Imagine at night we would travel all the world. Imagine communicating without using words. Imagine solar gazing grass beneath our own feet. Imagine no starvation cause we don't need to eat. Imagine no more jobs, we only did what we loved. Imagine no race, no class, no first and no last. Imagine money became a thing of the past. And if you try to pay with it, people would just laugh. Imagine we turn this place into what they call heaven. Imagine fear was something that we laughed at. And being weird was not something that we laughed at. Imagine every obstacle we moved past that. Newspapers were inspiring and heartfelt. And what we watched on TV would make our heart melt. Imagine no more labels, we're perfect imperfections. And everyone's a savior, no one God up in heaven.
Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live on.
Yo, imagine everybody coming together, singing the same song for a chance to make it better. Imagine MCs and singers around the globe flow into one beat that everybody knows. Imagine the power of synchronized minds aligned, spitting their rhymes designed to bend time. Imagine we return to the 432 like our ancient ancestors devoted our lives to truth. Imagine LL, Pac and Bruce Lee collaborating minds through rhymes and techniques. Imagine the degree of power we would see if indigos would focus the gift of ADD. Imagine a solution for the social confusion delivered through the music in every institution. Will be a resolution for the sake of evolution. Hip-hop is the movement.
Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one.
Hi everyone, it's me, Indigo Prophet, Tarek Bliss BB.
What's up? I'm Nico, aka The Spartist.
And Michael Moon, the Temple of Sound.
Thank you so much for checking out our music video, the rap remix of John Lennon's Imagine. Put a whole lot of love and healing into this music, and we're so grateful for this opportunity to connect with you.
Yeah, we wanted to invite you to subscribe to our channel. You can hit me here.
My YouTube channel is right over here.
Mine here.
And if you follow the website links below, that will be take you to each of our individual websites and discographies where you could actually not only get a free copy of this track, Imagine, but also one of our own from our discography.
And just like the video if you liked it. It's going to help us reach more people. Comment below, let us know what you thought about the video. What kind of reality would you imagine into existence? And please share this video with your communities. It's going to help us reach more people. Our goal is to reach at least 144,000 people so we can reach that critical mass, so we can co-create heaven on earth through the power of music and healing.
It starts with you, so hit that, share that, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Imagine.
just
Speaking right into the shotgun mic. It's good?
yeah.
Picks me up too.
What?
Maybe we should just hang it. You think it would do the whole thing?
It is a.
And welcome back to the show. This is the final part of the show where we have our final guest of the day. We're very happy to have Taylor Abrahams and
Abrahams. Good start.
and Bryn Scott Grimes here.
That's right.
And you guys are going to perform for us a little bit later. We're really looking forward to it. But welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Now you guys are. I got all these questions now that I have to refer to. Not that I will. Not. Of course I will. But you guys have a recording studio and you're doing music yourselves, and I know you do some good work in the community. So let's just get to know you guys a little bit. First of all, like
Well, first of all, Bryn is announcing his run for presidency in 2034. I think we were discussing.
32.
32. Okay.
I think it'd be more fun to run for president in an off year. Like when there's not actually a presidential. Can you find a way to be?
It'd be more fun. There'd be less pressure, but
Yeah, I was
you'd also
thinking-
be kind of. No one would know what the heck you were doing.
Well, you could, but then you could
sweep
seize
it.
all the attention.
Seriously, sweep
right?
it.
True.
Yeah.
Well, no. What
I
what
made
you'll do
a
is-
retaliation Facebook post this morning that's very long. And
What do you mean
I'm-
retaliation? What are you retaliating for?
Hugh's
I
apparently
don't know.
happy that Trump is going to be the president of the United States. Are you talking about president of the United States?
No,
or are you
don't.
president
I'm
of
an American
something
citizen
else?
as well. I'm
Oh.
both. So I used to live in Colorado, and that's where my vote was in Colorado.
So
And
you can actually run for president.
I could if I wanted to, technically, yes.
And you don't have to make up fake JPEGs of your birth certificate.
You mean like Ted Cruz?
Yeah, like Ted Cruz.
But we just thought may as well
I
start
think
now.
that's great, yeah.
Start promoting it now.
That's a good idea.
It's good to get out in front of these things.
Do you guys want to comment about the election at all?
Yeah,
Because it's the day after and you're an
it's-
American, Bryn?
Yeah, just let him.
Well, no, you could. Taylor, we want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, Taylor, why don't you go first?
Okay, well, I'm just kind of floored that, like a lot of people, that someone who seems to be overtly racist, sexist, xenophobic, and doesn't believe in climate change is running the most powerful nation on earth.
That's pretty succinct, actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
That kind of sums it up for most of us, I think.
Yeah, and you have to look at what it. I think it's as simple as there's people who actually are looking at the big picture, and there's people who, their whole life has been built around temporary gratification and just thinking about themselves, and they're thinking from that place. And all human beings have both sectors of their brain, but clearly there's a lot of people who don't know how to shut off one of them, and so he's one, and so I'm scared. And we'll see what happens. It makes me really have to question my pursuit as an artist going forward and as a musician.
Really?
Well,
I mean, that's big. What do you mean by that exactly?
well, and in general, the last few years, I've done a lot of I've done a lot of work that is. I used to be like the most arrogant little child star as a kid, where like a mini Trump, you could say, almost. Like me in grade 5, I see a lot of me in grade 5 in Trump.
But you grew out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I like when people
But
grow out of it. It's,
But I had to go through, a period of deep depression for a while
Yeah.
in order to really grasp the impact of my actions. And and it took finding the right personal development programs and things like that to really start to make my life about something more than myself.
it's nice that those things are covered in this country, too.
To a certain
Well,
degree.
some extent, yeah.
Yeah. But I would love to see just basic things like that built into education.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's amazing. We know that kids don't develop the ability to understand the consequences of their actions and be able to understand right and wrong until they're teens, late teens, early 20s. But we only teach them about being nice people in kindergarten.
My dad actually sent me a note yesterday that was all about these these kids in grade 5 in Colorado who are basically, they went around campaigning at the university campuses to encourage people to vote, even though they can't vote.
I was
And-
hearing about these guys, too.
Yeah, exactly. Like these little campaigners, that obviously by the time that particular class is 18, they will know the right thing to do, supposedly.
You hope, I guess.
Well, and it's more about voting itself. It's about it's about really empowering the future to realize that they're actually leaders and they actually have a say in whatever they want to make a difference with in life. I think there's just a lot of people who have been programmed to be disempowered, and
See,
the more
this
that
is
you
the
interrupt
thing,
that-
and so I don't want to get into too much of a political conversation, but the one thing about the election last night that empowered me, because I had a paranoia going into it that it was actually rigged, that it was rigged, that Trump was right, it was rigged. the polls showed that Hillary was going to win right up until the last day, and I thought, this is part of the rigged system that Trump is talking about. So to see him actually win, and to see that the whole thing went off very smoothly, and that there were no race riots, and that and Trump come back and give a conciliatory speech that we are all one, we need to work together. I mean, I just thought the thing was, for me, it was heartening to see that something that nobody thought was going to happen actually happened. So that the optimistic part of that to me is that maybe it's not a rigged system, and maybe the good, well-meaning people who want to
But he
step up
also
and take
invented the myth that it was a rigged system.
Yeah.
And he used that to leverage his
Well,
own
see,
campaign.
yeah,
Well, if you look
I'm
at
not
the
sure he
stats-
invented
No,
that,
but if
and
you look
he's
at the
certainly
stats
not
on
the
that-
only person.
Yeah.
He's not the only person that believes that, and I think that's the big. I mean, I think that's where a lot of the Trump support comes from. From people, and especially in those. And I know myself. We've seen it in Ontario as well, not just in the States. To see these high-paying, blue-collar industrial jobs leaving and going elsewhere. I've seen it in my hometown here in Ontario, and we're paying a price for that, and so.
Of course,
I think
people
the thing
like
is-
Trump are far more. No, go
I
on.
think there's just far more important issues than people's jobs at the moment. I think the global impact of what's happening is much bigger than people losing jobs. If you lose a job, you can always go out and get another job, and with Trump, unfortunately, he's just not seeing the implications of what's really the biggest issues at hand, and environmentalism being number one. And so, I mean, we'll see what will happen, but I think what's
It's like building a house without with a soggy foundation, and
it's like
it's gonna
decorating your
collapse on
house
itself.
very ostentatiously and then letting the foundation of your house crumble
Yeah.
right beneath it. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, guys, that's fantastic that we're having a real political conversation here today. But
yeah, how about to bring it back to music? It's like my commitment to with my music and my art. I do a lot of voice acting. One thing I've always wanted to do is create an animated series, and I'm taking some great strides towards that.
didn't you do the theme song for?
Yeah, I've written a few theme songs. There's one that's airing for a show called Fangbone. Where
Fangbone. I just noticed that last night when I was like flipping around.
Oh, you found it?
I saw that Fangbone show and I go, that's a funny name.
Well, do you recognize this voice as well?
No, I didn't watch the show.
Okay.
But what is that voice?
Well, that is the main character. That is Fangbone.
Your Fangbone?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Fangbone, and I did the theme song.
Okay, now Hugh is actually fangirling out.
I'm fangirling out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch this Fangbone show.
Yeah,
What's it all about?
It's a great show. It's like I feel like it's like one of the best Canadian cartoons that have come out in a long time. Like the writing's so sharp on it. It's about like a barbarian kid who comes from another planet to Earth, and he has to protect an evil toe from getting in the hands of a bad guy. In short.
Okay. It's Canadian?
Yeah, it's Canadian. It's aired in the States. It's airing around the world.
Yeah.
and
What
stuff like that.
channel is it on? Yeah.
In Canada, it's on a channel called Family Charged, and I believe it's also just on Family as well.
Okay.
And then it's sporadically on Disney XD in the States.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Very
it'll
cool.
be around. But
Very cool.
yeah, just stuff like that. Like I want to make a show that empowers that kind of leadership in children. That I was talking about earlier, and I created a leadership program for children that I ran at a school, where it was like amazing, like kids in second grade, third grade, fourth grade, able to, create community initiatives and like have all the tools that they need to make whatever initiatives they want for the rest of their lives. That's something that's very important to me.
That's very cool. I think that's what we need too. I think we really need to kind of reinvent education. It was interesting to hear our last guest, talking about that. We've had a lot of guests actually talking about that. We talk about it.
We harp on it even.
And we have the tools now. Like, it's kind of curious. Like, why do we have to spend $15,000 a year to go to university to attend a bunch of lectures that somebody could have videotaped, and we could be watching them for free
Yes,
at home?
things have to be way more experiential.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
not only that, but like, why are we educating people to do things that are going to be that are likely going to be entirely irrelevant by the time they get out of school, and why aren't we teaching them the basics? I would love to see somebody teaching people more about citizenship and world, just how to get along in the world, because those are the things that we go out into the world, and no matter what we're doing for our job, no matter where you go in your job career, you will find people who are just dicks. You will find stupid office politics, and everybody complains about those things. And it just seems to me that if you actually got people thinking about those things earlier on, we would actually go into the workplace or go into our careers as artists and get along better.
Yeah, it seems like there's a couple core subjects that just don't really exist as essential subjects in school. And that obviously the regular ones that everybody expects are important, but there's just other ones that, you know, like even just like personal health, they don't really teach you anything about that. And then you just realize in your 20s there's all these people that are just killing themselves.
Well, how many people do you know who just don't even know when to go to the hospital? Like the difference between when to go to the hospital and when to, you know, buy something at the
And I think there's an obvious one where there needs to be some kind of a course on energy consumption at a very, very young age. You know, it's not that complicated to understand it. And like you said, kind of like human relations, you know.
And you can, I think that the fear always seems to be that you'd teach stuff that would be dogmatic, that you'd be giving people a political opinion. But it seems to me that it's pretty hard to look at getting along with people as something that's political.
That's for me why I think the best thing you can do is you can empower people to create whatever impact on the world that they want to make, you know, and because that'll empower them to do the research to make the choices that they want to make as well. And then at the same time, there's things that are just self-evident that I'm baffled that people are denying.
It's
Name
because
one.
common sense
Well,
isn't that
climate
common.
change, you know, stuff like that. Anyway.
I think that climate change is not self-evident, and that's really the problem. That it's one of those things where you actually have to look at the data, and not only that, but you have to be a person who actually believes the data means something. Because we were talking about that whole thing with the election irregularities. Apparently, that like of all the, despite the fact that people talked about voter fraud and voter irregularities and people not believing in the results of an election. Like, it was something like 90% of people believed that the election results were going to be fair. So that kind of hysteria gets into people's minds, and even if you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, well, I believe that the election results are going to be fair, but nobody else does. I'm living in a crazy world, and that just causes paranoia. But how does this reflect on your music? So you guys work together as musicians?
Yeah, we met in university. We went to York for music, and we just kind of lived down the hall in residence. And then over a long period of years, you know, we eventually became a duo where we played together shows. But
What did you call yourselves?
We call ourselves by our first names. So Taylor and Bryn is
Okay.
the name of the band. Not too.
Now that's self-evident. That's
Yes.
much more self-evident than climate change.
Yes.
I would beg to differ, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we each individually, obviously, one thing we have in common is we both recorded a lot of our own music on our own for years and years, starting from a very young age, and it's one of the reasons why I think we were more or less destined to make this studio together as business partners. Which is our, I wanted to throw that word out there.
Yeah.
It's destined.
So much better than Starcrossed.
So that's cool. So you got a recording studio now. So tell us about like what's unique, special about Silverthorne Recording Studios. Like, why should people come there?
Well, because we're pretty cool. But no, really, it's like I've done a lot of recording at other spaces, and you know, we were very cautious to ensure that our equipment was of that caliber, as well as, you know, we were just thinking of making something that feels warm and homey, like a place where you don't feel like you're in a factory recording.
Yeah.
So what do we see if we come to you to record? What do we see in the facilities?
So one thing that we did, and it's reflected in the name, of course, Silverthorne Studios, is that everything is very natural and warm. So there's, for example, the trim is all, it's actually Mennonite barn board that we got from Waterloo region, which is where I'm from. We went out there and got the barn board and we had it ripped into strips, and so it's all natural wood. So you can see.
Did the Mennonites chase you?
Oh, well, we gave them money. So.
Oh, that's all right then. That's all right.
And so it's got natural wood, it's got greens, it's got browns. It's very warm, and you know, maple wood floors. And so when you go in, you can smell the fresh wood. You can almost like smell the cedar in it as well. And yeah, it's cozy. It's small, but it's also very versatile. So there's 7 rooms, including an amp room, so you can very easily isolate everything and record it all at once live off the floor.
Do you have a
Very
piano?
cool.
We have a weighted
Yeah,
keyboard.
but we have a way that we can get a really nice Yamaha upright piano in the
If need
space.
be,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
if you,
great.
if you need a piano, we can order it.
What
in.
about the drums? Drums are kind of tricky sometimes to get a good sound.
Hugh's,
Oh
Yeah.
well, I
Right?
mean, all the rooms are very carefully acoustically tested,
Yeah.
and with panels very strategically placed and created often by this guy so that we could get panels that actually feel warm and don't look like every other studio's panels.
I made 78 acoustic panels for the studio.
That's
Who
cool.
did?
I
You-
did.
You did.
Handcrafted acoustic piano.
I
That's kinda cool.
fabricked one, though.
You did.
Let's
Wait,
keep
did
that.
And then
you
he
use
said,
egg
"That's
cartons?
enough for me."
No, we didn't. There's
No,
this
it's
is
Roxel and wood frames and then fabric that you stretch
Yeah.
over it and staple on the back.
Okay, very cool. Do you have a drum kit?
Oh, yeah.
In the studio.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
we,
wanna-
we have 2 different drum kits, and we might be selling these 2 to get another one. Right now, we're still kind of furnishing the last couple touches like that, but we have like a very thick kind of rock kit, and then we have another one that's a little bit more refined.
And what happened was we took on these consultants who have run a studio downtown successfully for many years, and they ended up kind of absorbing their operations in with us. And so that was a big help, and they were brilliant consultants the whole way along.
That's cool, getting the benefit of somebody else's
And they
experience.
had their first client in our studio last week, who happened to be Kiefer Sutherland. So he came in last week as literally our very first client.
Now
and-
he's the president of the United States now, I hear.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
In that TV show.
Yeah, because
That's right.
Canadians make the
Right.
best presidents. Like, seriously, are you dual?
Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
See, that's great.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I'm all for that.
it's a great spin for him, especially because people supposedly don't want politicians now. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Was he recording music or spoken word?
It
or-
was spoken word. It was for like a radio commercial for
Oh,
the
nice.
American Veterans Association. Yeah.
Very cool.
and they were so coy about it. They're like, "Hey, can you look at this photo? Is this guy famous? Can you let us know?" Like we didn't know that he was coming, and then that's Kiefer Sutherland. You didn't know who this was? Oh, we're just joshing you, you know. So
What was he like to work with?
I don't know because I wasn't there.
Yeah, we were literally like I was out of town that day, so we just got back and
Oh, I
got a
thought you meant you
photo
were,
of
like-
him in the studio. And,
Signed to you, I hope?
it's not signed yet, but I'm.
What?
It was just a digital photo, you know. It wasn't
Oh,
like a
okay.
Polaroid.
Jeez.
So that's very
You got
cool.
Kiefered.
Yes.
I mean, we talk about joshing somebody. You guys got Kiefered.
That I'm sure he was
just-
pitched that
I
in the
wanna-
early 2000s
I
as
wanna
like a
coin that
as a punked
expression. Yeah.
as a competitor to punked. but being Kiefered would be like in 24. It'd be like it would be him bursting into rooms and tying people down and being
Right.
like, where are the drugs? Where are the terrorists?
Or doing that thing where he speaks really, really quietly and insistently.
Yes.
Where are the drugs? You tell me where those drugs are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway.
Awesome. So, do you guys? What's your kind of percentage now? Recording other people versus recording yourselves. Do you
Well,
still have
our-
time to do your own work?
Our emphasis is definitely on recording our own work right now. We've got a lot of stuff that is been ready to record for a while. It was years ago that I was ready to create an album, but then I was in the very first world problem of booking a lead on a sitcom for a couple of years.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What was what was the sitcom you were on?
It's called The Stanley Dynamic.
Okay.
So things are calm with that for now. So yeah, so there's time and space to.
I got to say, I always love when actors or other artists are unavailable because they booked something.
I had to
think
turn
that's
down
the
a
best
I had to
reason.
turn down a lead in another show because there was no time during a work week where I could.
Which show?
I don't know.
You can't say.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like.
Or I don't even know if they've changed the name. It hasn't aired
Oh, it
yet, so
hasn't
I
done
want to
it.
be kind
Oh,
with them
okay.
about that.
I was
I think
just
the way we've set it up at our studio is so that we can, because we're both Nighthawks, so we record very late at night. But other people who want to record there can record during the day. No
That's
problem.
great, actually.
Yeah,
So you can kind of time shift everybody.
yeah exactly.
Yeah, that's nice.
Make it in use all the time. if
Now, what's your
possible.
mission as Taylor and Bryn, musically?
It's a good question.
Well, I mean, our influences are very, as I think you'll hear, very melodic music. So, we're huge fans of stuff from the 30s and the 40s, but and then ways that all of those melodies and alternative chords and things like that have shown up over the decades. in
Like
different-
more than just like major sevens? Because I really like major sevens. If you throw in one of those
Oh
every
yeah,
now and then, I'm always
you'll hear
happy.
some major sevens
Okay,
today.
that's cool.
Yeah.
What do you think about the state of music now? And do you feel that it's difficult to kind of find new ground to explore musically because everything's been done, or not?
I'm not sure if
I don't
everything's
feel
been
that
done.
way.
No.
Yeah, no.
You-
There's always new iterations that you can come up with that,
You just have to be
that
really.
people haven't thought of yet.
You either have to be like not educated at all, like have a complete beginner's mind to find something new, or you've got to be so educated that you know exactly how to break all the rules.
Which side of that equation are you guys on?
I think we're more on the educated side.
Yeah, I kind of want to be in both places, you know.
Yeah.
See, we discussed this. This is the difference between being cynical and just being ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because being cynical means, Bill Maher said this, being cynical means you just know too much.
Well, I think cynicism is itself a form of cowardice and laziness.
I would tend to
and-
agree with you.
That's
And-
interesting. Why do you say that?
Well, because it's righteousness incarnate.
It's like seeing the problem but refusing to believe that there could be a solution.
Yeah.
Because you're
You-
just too good for
Alan
that.
Watts said the biggest I think the biggest inauthenticity of being human is that people forget that they're God, basically, and that always struck me as like a very kind
That's a
of
great quote.
interesting, true thing. I think that people completely diminish their own power, and they've built up a lot of reasons for that over their lives.
You've actually just given me a whole new interpretation of Bob Dylan's line about to live outside the law, you have to be honest.
I'm finding. I'm not finding a way to connect that in my head, but go ahead. If you
Well,
can
no,
elaborate.
because I think he meant. I mean, he meant in terms of actual like legalities. Like if you want to live outside of society's laws, you need to be honest. But I think in order to live outside of music's laws, it requires you to be even more honest as well. It requires you to find something
Yeah.
new, and you find authenticity by actually knowing what the rules are and knowing what the spaces are between them.
See, I find I'm never really thinking about the rules or anything like
You're
that.
thinking about what
it's more if
sounds-
you're
I'm thinking about the rules a lot because I'm when you're writing on assignment, like when I had to write a whole musical, and it's like, okay, well, they have to get from this point to this point by the end of this song.
yeah, if you're writing something for somebody else, of course, but if you're writing your own original music that's that's just what you feel like writing. If you've educated yourself enough, then you're able to express yourself in whatever way comes out. And I just find that certain individuals, whatever they come up with, it just has a certain, if it's really true to themselves, it'll just be unique anyways.
Yeah.
Even if you're borrowing and everything else, it just comes out through a new filter. And just a slight change in that filter
Yeah.
is enough for it to be amazing, and different from anybody else.
Well, I've always liked the idea that kind of hyper awareness of what other people are doing can actually turn what you bring to music or to any
Yeah.
form of art. It can just, it's like it cooks in you and it comes out as something completely different.
A lot of artists,
and you don't
actually-
even understand it half
No.
the time.
a lot of really famous artists, they went through a period of time where they wanted to be another artist, and like that happened with Ray Charles and Bob Dylan and all these people who were just they just got so obsessed with this one other artist, and they learned all of their stuff, but now these people are known as complete originals themselves.
Oh, now you got me wondering what that guy who actually did every song from Queen. There
This guy,
was that you?
well,
There
he-
was-
I actually did a thing a few years ago to raise money
See,
for AIDS awareness.
I knew that you were familiar, and you did it at that little bar at the.
That is me.
I fucking was there. Am I allowed to say that? I was there. I was there through some of the best years too, because I was there through Under Pressure. I actually came and watched you, and it was
Aw.
funny because I thought you were familiar. This guy actually did every single song by Queen in order.
Yeah, well, Queen was like my obsession as when I was just getting into music.
I mean, how long did that take?
It was I sang for about 8 hours that day, and I didn't get through the whole catalog. I think I stopped around The Miracle. I didn't make it to the end,
Well, I'm glad I wasn't there to be disappointed.
Yeah.
I think
it was just
that-
because I had to stop and I had to go to another show to play a couple other Queen songs that night. So
you were quite amazing. I
Thank
must
you.
say that was actually quite.
I did have some chord sheets
vital
with
tour
me
de force.
for the earlier songs, especially.
That's okay.
Okay.
You still sang I think I stayed for about maybe 10 or 12 numbers.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Did you do Ogre Battle?
I did. Now once upon a time, an old man told me a fable. When the piper is gone and the soup is cold at your table, and when the black crow flies to find a new destination, that is a sign. I don't know if I.
And I just sat there and drank one and smiled.
Okay. I don't know if I even remember the lick now. That's the lick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to practice it more, but
Yeah.
yeah, just a lot of those songs.
How about Killer Queen then?
Oh,
That's it.
yeah, that's also hard chord wise.
They all are. They're
Away a shadow in a pretty cabinet. Let them eat cake, she says. Just like Marie Antoinette, a building a remedy for Khrushchev and Kennedy. At any time, an invitation you can't decline. Caviar, cigarettes, well, how does it go from there? Well versed in etiquette, extraordinarily nice. She's a chiller, and I don't know where it goes from there.
wow, that's amazing. You guys are great. Okay, listen.
I have to take some time to figure out the chord.
I just gotta ask
Taylor's going,
now before we get you guys to actually perform for us, which we're looking forward to. Like Bryn, what is it about the harmonica that we don't understand yet that we need to know?
According to Sam B, I
asked Bryn.
I know, but just let me give you my answer first. The main thing that you have to know about the harmonica is usually the guy who's playing it is the happiest person in the room.
That's a good. I like that. That description.
They're very
of it.
connected to their breath. They've got so much oxygen going through their body. It's hard not to be happy in a way, I would think.
Yeah, you do feel like you're flying. There's a couple instruments where, like, on the drums, if you're really playing well, you kind of feel like you're flying, like, a little bit, or like biking. It's like the same sensation, like you're really like moving. You know, guitar, it's a little bit. I love guitar, but it's not the same.
Guitar
Actually,
tickles your brain. It doesn't tickle your body.
Yeah, exactly. But harmonica, it's very, very close to the human voice, first of all. And it's the most connected instrument to your breath, more than any horn instrument, because you have to inhale as well.
Right.
So when you play it, you often just kind of turn inwards, and you kind of just become this single tone, you know. And there's many different textures you can get. But I think the main thing with harmonica is just that it's been pigeonholed into the blues for the most part. That people who don't like the blues don't really pay that much attention to it. And to be frank, I mean, it's a very young instrument. It was only invented in the late 1800s, and there's just a lot still more to be done with it. So one of the things I'm doing with myself and with my harmonica school, which I've been running for 4 years in Toronto, is just educating people to really just break out of the box of just playing one genre. And also it's if you want to learn music, I mean, it's one of the cheapest, easiest, simplest things to start, and then if you want to really take off, there's many years ahead that you can. I mean, it's like an
so
iPhone.
much better than recorder. I mean, when you talk
so
about
much
cheap
better.
instruments, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So
And it doesn't matter who you're playing with, the harmonica always adds something awesome.
yeah,
That would be the Donald Trump slogan for harmonica. So much better than recorder. Because it's always got to be like tearing something else down.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, the Tim Kaine, I guess, is a harmonica player. So you've already got a vice presidential candidate. Just to
And
bring this
Lincoln
full
with the sax.
circle.
I know Lincoln also played as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Really?
I kind
Yeah.
of thought of Lincoln as a whittler, but it's even nicer to think of him as a harmonica
Or
player.
maybe it wasn't Lincoln. I don't know. I know there's one of them. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
we
it
should
was.
start that rumor, in one way or another.
Let's start it,
that-
yeah.
I think
that
that's
will
a
be the
safe
truth.
rumor to start. It's not going to like harm
He's
anyone.
not gonna come back and sue you.
I think it's maybe
I'm
it was
a recorder
impossible,
player,
because the
damn
harmonica
you.
was only invented in
18.
late, so it must have been
Okay.
somebody else.
Yeah.
But I know there's one president who endorsed it. Yeah.
But yeah, and with harmonica, you obviously teach it, and I'm just trying to plug his workshop.
Do you actually run your classes out of the studio, or is there another place? to do
Yes, I do, exactly. So we have like a music room in the house, and then also at the studio that's nearby, I run classes there, and I'm just about to run a workshop as well for beginners on November 19th, so I'm actually taking registrations for that right now.
That's great. How do people actually register for that if they'd like to?
Yeah, so you would go to www.bsgharmonicaschool.com, and there's a workshop page right there, and you can just register, and the email will come to me, and then we'll kind of figure out the details.
How many classes is the workshop? Is it just
It's a
workshop,
one-day
or-
intensive workshop
Ooh.
where you get a harmonica in the key of C. You get a booklet that I've compiled. You get I basically cover everything that you need to know to start off, and then also it includes a follow-up one-on-one lesson with me, so I can kind of clarify things for you, because there's a lot involved, and
Bryn is seriously like arguably the best harmonica teacher, or well, teacher I would say, but like player, one of the best players in Canada, I would say. I know that maybe it's like the more you search around the island, the more you feel like the less you know. It's kind of the phenomenon. So he probably may not feel that way, but I mean, if you listen to him, you'll just be like, wow. That's all.
God, I'm sort of
Wow, I hope we
craving
get
hearing some music, aren't you?
I hope we get some here today. So again, Bryn, that was BS Harmonica School.
BSG.
Oh, BSG.
like Bryn Scott Grimes.
Bullshit harmonica school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
BSG
there's nothing at that website.
.com, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
and
Am I allowed to say that here? I'm not sure if you guys. have
I
to
already
censor.
said for the F word earlier,
Okay.
didn't I?
do you guys want to give out any other contact information
Or
for the
say any other
studio?
stuff.
Yeah,
or yourselves?
Definitely.
Yeah, so if you'd like to contact us about booking at the studio, it's 416-878-7735. That's 416 what was
878.
878-7735.
And then our website for our studio will be coming up very soon. It's technically live right now, but it's just incomplete, and that'll be silverthornstudios.ca.
Yeah. And then there's Facebook, there's then there's taylorandbryn.com.
Did you actually get any video of doing all those Queen songs?
You know what? I had a webcam set up to record me the whole
That's
time.
what I thought. That
And it glitched.
oh.
People got to watch it, but it's like lost in time pretty much.
Well, Q and I always talk about having a telethon here, so maybe
Okay.
we'll bring you in and do a.
Well, yeah, it's typically like September is the best time for it to happen, like on what would have been Freddie Mercury's birthday.
Oh, okay, that's just.
Although
like,
it could also, November 24th was when Freddie passed away.
really,
Yeah.
that's my birthday.
Oh, well, thanks a lot. I'm kidding.
No. It's just it's interesting because I share it with Scott Joplin.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Ted Bundy, but that's
Yeah,
another
we love
story.
Scott Joplin.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
so much Ted Bundy.
What? Now you're going to do a couple songs for us. So what are you going to do for us?
Well, actually, I think it'd be fun to start with one that I wrote. I might change it a bunch because what happens a lot is there's so many cool ideas and you spend years just trying to find the right way to collect them. But this is one iteration of it called "Kill the Melody," and it's actually very apt after the election yesterday. It's kind of like the strange observation of it is almost blaming Beethoven for the decline of civilization because what happens once you start getting into more popular forms of classical music is people start figuring out, oh, so here's how I can make an earworm. This is how I can like get stuck in people's heads, and then that creates kind of the buzzword culture that we live in today where
Right.
people don't
Where branding is more important.
yeah
than talent.
branding and people not getting the full picture of something
Right.
and making their decisions based off of that.
That sounds fantastic.
So yeah.
Kind of like Another One Bites the Dust.
But that's
Sure.
a terrific song.
It, is that what it's
No.
about? Actually,
No,
that'd be interesting.
I don't know if it
I get
makes sense.
It makes
You get
sense.
it?
Yeah.
Because Queen, who is such virtuosos, right?
Yeah.
But that song is a really dumbed down.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it's
then-
got a heavy beat in it, which this one
Yeah.
also has.
And when they
Yeah.
tried to capitalize on that with Hot Space, it was like a big failure for them. So it's kind of interesting. It's like if you can if you try and go too far with trying to appease the masses, that can even blow up in your face.
Yeah, but it's kind of like how the only song that most people know by Rush is usually Closer to the Heart.
Yeah.
Which is, probably their least.
You haven't
interesting.
memorized their entire discography. like
Closer
the-
to the heart.
Yeah. Okay, guys, this is great.
He was
Thank
the
you.
nicest
Fly
girl.
by. I can usually sound like
She's got
Geddy
the
Lee.
nicest voice. I like her.
Geddy Lee.
So it's
Fly by night down.
Yeah,
That's pretty much
No,
it.
we just realized that it's a lot easier as a woman to imitate Geddy Lee than it is as a man usually. Yeah.
Okay,
true.
guys, thanks for doing this. You guys
Woohoo!
can keep your conversation going.
Yeah.
But we're gonna transition over to the performance stage and hear a couple songs from Taylor and Bryn. And thank you guys.
And thank you for having us.
Yeah.
I love actually just getting to sit down and do an interview. It makes it feel like everything that we've done somehow is worthwhile because it's documented. You know what I mean?
Well, you
So
know what?
thank
It's
you.
been a really great conversation. I know we went all over the map, talking about politics and all kinds of other stuff, but it's fun. So
Yeah.
thank you.
That's how we like to do.
All right. So here they are now going to perform for us, and thanks for tuning in today here on ThatChannel.com. We'll see you actually tomorrow, right here at noon tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Cheers.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Okay, wait. Okay.
So we're coming out through a PA system when we play. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear ourselves a bit.
Oh, you got a lot of reverb on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather not have the reverb on. Let's just not do your mic because we have a million videos of your mic.
Just snap your mic, Taylor. No? Just...
Be cool to have a bit of reverb for the first tune on mine, but not too much because of beatboxing.
Try it now, Taylor.
Testing out the beginning of the end of the world we live in. Can I get a little bit of water? Is that sugar? Thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's good for beatboxing too.
Let's test our levels together though.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's test everything.
Do you want to do DI as well for the guitars? Just so there's multiple.
Say what?
Do you want to do DI for the guitars as well?
What?
DI.
No, let's just use the... You want to do that? Can you get like a stereo effect and stuff?
It should be okay as long as you keep the levels pretty hot on the guitars.
They'll do it.
Yeah, that's too loud for that little power. The beginning of the end of the world we live in all started with a dude named Beethoven. The code got cracked, he'd made some catchiest track. The code echoes across the ages now, he can't go back. Every generation asks if this gonna be the last yet. Who doesn't love the day? When your freedom slowly burns from a perfect day at work. Yeah, can I get more vocal? Because I'll be able to pull back and stuff with it. Just try to get it out of your brain. Can't you kill the melody? But it's all that ever made sense to me. You can't clean this stain, it's like a freemium game. It's like aspartame, like that show we love to hate. We discovered how to hypnotize each other so well. We don't know what's heaven, we don't know what's hell. Every generation asks, is this gonna be the last yet? Who doesn't love the guilt of feeling sexy lady thighs? Well, half the planet dies, there's just no time, you say. Should I not have glasses on? What do you think looks better?
I think the glasses look fantastic.
Alright. Can't you kill the melody? But it's all that ever made sense to me.
I think it sounds fantastic on the headphones.
Good. Ertsy. But Etsy.
I know it might not sound perfect in the room, but...
Oh yeah, no. The other videos I've seen, the audio sounds great. So could we get a little closer, actually?
To each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
It feels a little strange. We're a duo and we're like.
Let's do that, man. And you like that mic placement? Actually, I mixed it with that mic placement that you had, so.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
We don't know what.
Hey guys. If you're ready, just introduce and we'll do 3 songs and that'll be fantastic.
Sweet. Alrighty. Ready when you are.
We're ready. If you're ready there, Chris. And don't forget, follow the music. Follow, vocal solos, guitar bits,
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it might help if you're able to put down your guitar a little this way. That's my only thought.
No, it's got to stay there.
It's got to stay there?
Yeah, that's where it's comfy.
Let's get started.
Okay.
But, introduce it.
Let's close the doors, eh? Thank you very much. Cool. Alrighty. 3, 2, 1, action. So hi, we're Taylor and Bryn, and we're gonna start off with a very apocalyptic song called "Kill the Melody." slave to sound. Can't you kill the melody? But it's all that ever made sense Why won't you kill it, honey? Now let's do R for R.
Yeah.
This song is both a farewell to a place that Bryn used to live at and
I made an album on Ossington Street called Room on Ossington, and I recorded the whole album in this room that was basically attached to my room that was like a washer room, an ex-washer room, and it was literally big enough to fit a drum set, and that's it. Like the bass drum mic was like in the bass drum and right up against the wall. So when I left this space, I made a little ode to it, and then we arranged it all harmonized.
And it's also, I guess, an advertisement for our Airbnb that we kind of run together as well.
Yeah.
You have to stay in that tiny little room where
Me?
No, I'm just thinking,
Oh.
is the Airbnb...
Oh, no, a different house.
Different house now, yeah. It's the Airbnb where also people who are guests of the recording studio can stay as well if they come from out of town.
All right.
Count us in.
3, 4. Room for rent. Nothing but a couple memories are left, and a group of pretty cool people I have met, falling into the ashes. Room for rent. Sitting on this messy floor, all dispossessed, staring at this lovely box of emptiness, burning up with the matches. I'll say goodbye. Desk, bed, sitting chair, time for us to put on the kettle. Here, there, everywhere. Who can say where we will settle? Room for rent. Thinking about a past that I will not forget. Wondering about a future that I never met. Feeling now as it passes. Room for rent. just another place where I have slept. Just another roof under which I have wept. Or do I have rose-colored glasses? I'll say goodbye. There, teddy bear, we will travel over the meadow. Here, there, everywhere. Who can say where we will settle? Let's
Do a third one.
Yeah, let's do a third depressing one. Or we could do It Keeps Turning.
Yeah, let's do it. Keep starting. Yeah.
It was hard to watch a little bit of Stephen Colbert at the end of it because he was like, because like all the laughs are kind of being soaked up from the place and the fear of what's happening, and yeah, it's rough.
Colbert where? Last night?
Yeah, they did a live coverage the whole time. Not that I have a TV. It's just, I know. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is another one that I wrote that I will probably change quite a bit. But it's called It Keeps Turning. 1, 2, 3. There's a soul outside my window, keeping inside so cold. I wanna know someone, I just don't know. And if I speak to her, I'd never let her go. And making these problems, but I don't know why. I wanna be there and I wanna try. I could love the whole damn world for the chance at just one girl, or I could find a million ways, break my heart and start the wave. Or I could love the whole damn world just to be sure it keeps turning. Yeah, there's a chance in the night when I'm surrounded by laughter and pride, many color and temporary truth. When there's a dream in my sight, though I'm terrified of what a dream feels like when it rockets into the broad daylight. Everyone inside, but maybe you'd understand her, maybe you'd disagree. Whatever she'd say would mean the world to me. Making these problems, but I don't know why. I wanna be there and I wanna try. I could love the whole damn world for the chance at just one girl, or I could find a million ways, break my heart and start the wave. Or I could love the whole damn world just to be sure it keeps turning. Ow! thank you.
Although if that's one of your depressing songs, I'm kind of scared.
No, we changed it.
Okay.
We changed it to the happier one.
I have like happy ones like.
But we could do the depressing, fast-paced bluegrass one if you have time for one more.
Yeah, we do.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
We're gluttons for good music.
I think I wrote this initially as a teenager, and and then I changed it a bit. That's the story.
But it still applies to your life.
No, not really.
To a certain. Oh, come on. Okay, go.
Okay, here we go. Sorry, can we try it again? I just want to get that off the top. 1, 2. But it's all out of sync there. Sorry, it's just got to be in the time frame where it gets disorienting. I don't know when to come in. So almost there. Watch 'em move like snakes, taking every way out. I hope this cold bar floor will be clean when I curl up and down. They promise you this, they promise you that, but the truth comes out when your call bounces back. I can't take this lonely life, no, I can't take this heart of mine, yeah, I don't have the mood for love. I can't take this lonely brain, no, I can't take what I can't take, yeah, I don't have the mood for love. Every sway, every glance, every kiss, every smile I miss makes me say, hey, may as well hide in some workplace abyss. It's the same old small talk, the same sultry walk. Have fun trying to outrun your biological clock. I can't take this lonely life, no, I can't take this heart of mine, yeah, I don't have the mood for love. No, no, I can't take this lonely brain, no, I can't take what I can't take, yeah, I don't have the mood for love. Lord, how it feels, and I feel at home, with a love to call my own, love to call my own. Ain't the way it goes. She say I don't listen, 'cause I'm too busy kissing. Then she turns me to stone. Turn me to stone. I can't take this lonely life, no, I can't take this heart of mine, yeah, I don't have the mood for love. No, no, I can't take this lonely brain, no, I can't take what I can't take, yeah, I don't have the mood for love. For love, for love, for love, for love, for love, 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 love. The sound shakes the city, I'm going deaf from applause. She pulls me out of my clothes, pushes me up against a wall. I've tumbled through my tears, shimmied through my fears, so why am I still so damn numb to the comfort in my ear? How'd I get so cruel? Oh, maybe by saying I can't take this lonely life, no, I can't take this heart of mine, yeah, I don't have the mood for love. No, no, I can't take this lonely brain, no, I can't take what I can't take, yeah, I don't have the mood for, don't have the mood for, don't have have the mood for love. That was us.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
It's really hard doing this backwards.
Big sequel.
That's okay. It was fantastic. Absolutely
you.
fantastic. Do you guys know Robson and Jerome?
No.
Ooh.
Okay, you have
No.
to. You have to. Just yeah. They were two actors who were on